Yeah, I'd like to open with thanking Lee Futch, who's in charge of our Georgia Way. I'm not sure everybody knows, but they put on a tremendous event this morning in the indoor, the Georgia Way event in honor of Paul Oliver. And I thought it was great for our players, our former players. I saw a lot of familiar faces from when I coached here and guys I played with. But they're able to come back and network, and we had over 100 different companies here. So anytime you get a chance to do that, it's tremendous for our players. I was really excited about that. We were forced to go inside with the scrimmage. We actually thought it was going to rain more than it actually did, but the fields ended up being real slick, so we went inside, and thank goodness we were able to have a really good, upbeat scrimmage. I regret not getting the elements for the scrimmage, the hot, the cold. It's tough sometimes in a scrimmage because guys play more snaps in a scrimmage than they do in a game, especially when you do special teams. So that part, not having the heat or not having humidity, it made it a little bit easier, to be honest with you, for the scrimmage. But it was upbeat. It was some good popping, good hitting, good competition, especially on special teams and offense and defense, and thought it was really competitive. We got a long way to go to be the football team we need to be. And the kids are buying in and competing. I thought that both offensive units moved the ball well, and defensively we played hard. We just got a lot of young guys and some guys banged up on the defensive line that it makes it tough. But I do think the guys are buying in and playing hard. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Is the effort like the biggest thing you're looking for in the scrimmage environment situation like this?
I think effort's a good word. I think physicality would be right there with that because, we don't tackle day to day like a lot of teams do. We're going to tackle on scrimmages. And so today was an effort and physicality day where guys get a chance to the whistle doesn't blow early. We go all the way to the ground. And I think it's always good to see who plays well when that happens. That was the goal, to have good special teams, good competition, and I thought we had that.
I hadn't seen Justin Young out there. I think that's probably part of what you're talking about on the D line. What he got going on.
He had a mild knee sprain, and we think we'll get him back before spring's over. But it just, it seems like they're all in the same area right now with he and Barnett. But he should be fine.
Kirby said both offensive units moved the ball well. Did you have your running backs all available at the scrimmage? And can you talk about the quarterback specifically, since we didn't see how they performed?
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch the tape to know exactly on the quarterbacks. I thought both guys did a really good job managing the huddle, no delay of games, communication. That part was good. As far as the running backs, yeah, all those guys were available for the scrimmage and were able to participate. DeAndre was a little more limited than the other guys. He's had some growing soreness, but he still scrimmaged and was available. And Holyfield, Harrion, Prather did a good job. Ian Donald did a good job. So all those guys kind of have done it by committee. But, yeah, both quarterbacks, I thought they managed the situations well. Probably were not as effective in third down period when we went third on third. And it's an obvious passing situation. That seems to be where we're doing some good things defensively. Where we're struggling defensively is being physical and stout enough. But, yeah, I thought that both quarterbacks really competed hard and did some good things.
Coach, you speak of the younger guys. On defense, what have you seen from Mark Webb, or let's say just bringing down the scrimmage? Is he kind of a guy that after the move from wide receiver, you're kind of counting on to be more of a contributor this year?
Yeah, I am. I'll just say he didn't have his best day. So he got to perform with the ones a lot, and he's got some hamstring soreness. So in defense of Mark, he is probably one of the toughest kids that I've coached since being here. He will not take himself out of practice, and I think he's got a wheel that's a little bit slow. But he gave up a couple plays, and it's part of the growing process. So he's in a stiff competition with Tyreek and Eric Stokes and Amir Speed, and he continues to grow and develop. But he's physical and he's tough, and I like those two things about him.
We're a couple of weeks out from G-Day now. When do you start kind of preparing for that, getting ready for the inter-squad game itself?
there's really no. I mean, that's just like today. I mean, we go out there and scrimmage. I mean, we don't divide the teams up. We don't. We just go ones against ones and twos against twos, and then we split some of the other guys, the threes, up. But there's no getting ready for it. I mean, our focus is on, from this point forward, is trying to pick the right guys after the scrimmage that we think can help our team next year. We'll begin to work on other opponents next year. Each day we'll have spent one period on that, and then we'll work on things that Coach Chaney thinks the offense needs and Coach Tucker thinks the defense needs. But I'm not really worried about G-Day right now. I mean, we'll do that the day before it.
I understand that, everybody's in competition, but just one of the things I kind of noticed was Solomon Kinley getting a lot more work at left guard as opposed to his old position of right guard. I mean, what has he kind of shown, to make that move? And is there any real difference between those two positions, the way you guys look at it?
Not really. I mean, familiarity, you got to get reps. The move there that everybody's trying to make a big deal about, we're getting another tackle ready. So we're taking Kendall Baker and allowing him to work at a secondary position, no different than a corner might have to play safety or a safety might have to play star, or a tackle might have to play guard. I mean, Kendall Baker, we're trying to see, is he our best left tackle? Is he our second best left tackle? Is he our best right tackle? Is he our second best right tackle? And most teams in America are guard heavy. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we've got those edges secure, and that's just allowed us to get Solomon and Ben more reps, along with Trey Hill and Torrey and those guys. So that's really all that's about.
You talk about Solomon. I think a lot of folks, when you look at the discussions or whatever, that Ben moved into that right guard spot and kind of Solomon kind of faded away in out of sight, out of mind. What's it been like as far as his competitiveness and his desire to kind of jump back into that starting spot? What have you seen?
Well, he's taken a greater concern for his weight. He's done a much better job managing that. He continues to grow and develop as a player. I mean, we had a rhythm on offense when Ben went in that I don't know that it was because of Ben or because of Solomon not being there, but it was a good rhythm. And it was not something that we were going to change because we were playing well offensively those last 3-4 games. So Solomon knows it's a competitive environment. He knows that Trey Hill and Torrey, we got guys coming in. I mean, it's everybody, and they sit in these seats every day, and we tell them, you put it on tape, we'll put you in. If you get beat out or you don't compete, then we'll play the other guy. And Solomon competes as tough as anybody we got, and I appreciate that.
Coach, follow up on the D-backs. I mean, when you were talking about Webb, you listed a bunch of other second-year players. I mean, what have you seen in terms of readiness, maybe, and excitement to get out there and have an opportunity for guys like Amir Speed, Stokes, and Mark Webb?
Yeah, we're a long way in the secondary. As you know, there was a kind of a unique unit of DBs that had played for a long time around here, and they had taken a lot of experience. So with them gone, we have been anticipating this void for 2 years now, and we've tried to get some guys in here, not only just signing in last year, that can fill that void, but we're not where we need to be. We don't have the depth we need, and we're not playing at the level we need to play. Now, I think they're going against two pretty good quarterbacks, and I think they're going against a good wide receiver unit, but we've got to play at a higher level in our conference because our conference, to me, is full of experienced quarterbacks.
Following up on that, clearly the guys that you recruited in that position, like Bishop and Speed and Stokes, they fill the bill physically. You know how fast they are and their size. What's the most difficult part about playing that position well, despite having the physical traits to play?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's still to be determined. I think that when you say physical traits, they have the size and length requirements. Stokes certainly has the speed requirements based on his 100 meters, but some of those guys at those positions, I don't think they're challenging themselves mentally to learn the playbook, and it's their time, and they've got to step up or they'll be replaced by the people coming in, because we've got to take guys that have instincts. Instincts mean when the guy moves and goes outside, they got to move outside with him. They can't be slow to react. And right now we're not playing real well at those positions. And those are guys that I would understand it if they were down on the scout team last year and they didn't get reps. But because of our depth issues, most of those guys were our backups. They didn't have to play last year, but they took reps. And we're just not where we need to be at that position.
Kirby, after a few weeks, is there an area or position group with your team that you're kind of pleasantly surprised with? And is there an area also, what's the biggest concern these next couple weeks?
Yeah, The pleasantly surprised is hard because I feel like I had a good feel for where everybody is. I think the kids are competing hard. The biggest concern is the defensive front and the secondary. I continue to say that, and it's mainly because we don't have the depth that we need. We have some good frontline players. We don't have the guys that when a guy goes down for a game, what are you going to do? What's your answer? And that's what coaching's for. That's what we're trying to find. What's our best personnel? We had some similar issues last year with Malcolm's foot, some injuries, and we had to play Lorenzo more. So, we're looking at different packages and the best way to use our personnel.
How's Hawkins and Knuckle doing this spring? I know he didn't kind of had a reduced role on defense from the year before last season. Is he making a play for?
Yeah, he's getting a lot of reps. I mean, he's one of the healthy guys. He's competing. He's down to 305, which I told him he could not play if he was above 310. He's just not an effective football player. And he's taken that personal, and he's achieved. He's around 305. If I can get him down to 295, I really think we'll have a good football player. But he's working hard. He's a good leader. He goes out each day and tries to help affect the other players on the defensive line. Just got to get him to sustain longer. He and Devontae White have to do a little extra conditioning to keep that weight down.
Kind of sort of off topic question here, but did you ever find yourself maybe using your stature as a football coach to maybe help recruit players for other programs, like help other programs out? And I don't know, maybe how do you feel like you're able to do that? I guess is my question.
You're saying other sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Joni's done a lot of that. She's called me, and I've met with several of the women's basketball players. I don't know whether I actually help any or not, but my love for Georgia and my wife's experience, I really enjoy that. I've helped with a couple softball players, which I just love when kids come, especially the ones from the state of Georgia that I know their coaches and I have a tie to. So I've done that with some basketball. I've done that with a couple of the softball, and they've asked me to visit with a couple kids when they come in town. I know Jack has asked me about a swimmer before, and Manny Diaz has done the same thing with tennis. So I think when the recruit loves football, it's a great sell. Now, if they don't care anything about that, it's tough. But I really enjoy doing that because I think that we're all in this together, and I love the fact that our other sports are doing really well right now.
How'd your special teams logistics work inside the indoor building today?
It's awesome. It was great. It was well organized. I thought it was the best scrimmage we've ever had. 'Cause most of the time it's like chaos. Where's this guy? Where's that guy? Where's this guy? And we were really efficient with our GAs, getting players on and off the field. But, we did kickoff, return just like we're in the field. Just like we're in the stadium. So it was no different. We did PAT field goals just like we're in the stadium. The only difference is punting. So punting, we did everything real. I just threw the ball instead of punting the ball. So I get to throw the ball. And that way it's actually safer because I don't want to waste a punt where a guy misses a punt and we don't get a return. So if I throw it, it guarantees we get to cover and hit a return and cover. So it was no different to me than being at the stadium, and it was actually better because our guys were much more efficient at lining up.
Well, you guys had that video from the coaches clinic of Terry going up and making that catch. He did that last year in the Notre Dame game. Is that something that, I know you've complimented him on his competitive stuff like that, but is that kind of, that his ability to not just make catches like that but never give up on a ball, is that kind of something that he shows, you guys regularly in practice?
Yeah, Terry's been doing that since 8th grade. I still remember him at 7-on-7 camp in Alabama in the 8th grade. He came out there and played corner and was giving up plays, and there was about 8 guys from Callaway High School that were jumping all over him when he was an 8th grader, and he's a little peanut, and he's grown from that to 9th to 10th to he was a dominant player in high school outside on the perimeter. When they threw the ball up, he makes plays on the ball. He has elite ball skills. I think he's working at a high level. He really pushes the unit and leads that unit with work ethic. And that's really what we need. We need out of that group for him to do that. But he makes a lot of plays on the ball. What you got, Mark? You need anything?
Well, I was going to ask you, on a day like today, do you see Fields be able to make plays with his feet that you don't see on a normal practice day? And you had said last week that he was hitting the wall. How is he this week?
Yeah, I think y'all took that and really ran with that. I referenced the freshman, and then y'all completely threw it into like it was just him. That kid is really not like that. He's very intuitive. He's very smart. He picks things up well. So that was like, I mean, somebody blew that way out of the water. I mean, when I say hitting the wall, I mean, there's times where they kind of don't do as well as maybe we'd like for him to. And I was really talking about the other freshmen, not so much him. And he didn't have his best day after that either. But, you know, this week he's been very efficient, made good decisions. But to answer your question about, it's hard in a scrimmage because we're not tackling him. So a lot of that falls on me and the official. So you say, can you tell more? Can he take off running and do it? It's just like a practice because we don't hit him in practice. So I try to be as fair as I can. And, you know, I get a bunch of shenanigans from the offensive sideline. If I call it a sack, you know, they all disagree with me. So I try to put it on the official. And we got to go back and watch it, but I try to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's hard to say whether you would have tackled the guy or not. You know what I mean? Thanks, guys.